She said, "I'm not like other women." The cowboy just smiled and whispered, "That's why I want you." What happened next will touch your heart and change the way you believe in love forever. Stick with me till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more stories that will keep you hooked. Amelia had always believed she was different. Growing up in the bustling city, she had never quite fit in with the girls around her. While they obsessed over fashion, parties, and social circles, Amelia found comfort in books, in long walks, and in dreaming about a life away from the noise. She often told people, half-jokingly, that she wasn't like other women. And though most men rolled their eyes, dismissed her uniqueness, or tried to mold her into their idea of who she should be, Amelia stood firm. She wanted something real, something rare, something honest. It was fate, or maybe just a twist of chance, that brought her to the rugged plains of Texas. Her company had sent her there for a 6-month project, away from the glass towers of the city and into a land where time seemed to move slower, where the sunsets lingered longer, and where the nights were filled with stars instead of the glow of skyscrapers. She rented a small cabin on the outskirts of a quiet town, where everyone knew each other's names, and the air smelled of earth and freedom. The first time she saw him was at the town's only diner. His presence commanded the room without effort: broad shoulders, weathered hands, a cowboy hat tilted low, and boots that had walked more miles of dust than Amelia had ever dreamed of. His name was Colton. He wasn't loud, nor was he trying to impress anyone. He simply was. A man carved by the land itself. His silence carried weight, and his eyes seemed to hold stories deeper than any novel she had ever read. Amelia caught herself staring, but she didn't care. For the first time in years, she felt her heart stir in a way that scared her. She had always told herself she wasn't meant for shallow connections, but now she wondered if she was ready for something that felt this real. Days turned into weeks, and somehow, their paths kept crossing. She saw him at the feed store, at the farmer's market, at the church barbecue. Every time, he offered a nod, sometimes a quiet, "Ma'am," and went about his business. Yet there was an unspoken pull between them, a quiet gravity that seemed to draw them closer. One late afternoon, Amelia's old rental truck broke down on a dirt road a few miles outside town. She had no signal, no clue how to fix it, and the sun was beginning to sink low. Just as panic started to creep in, she heard the low rumble of a horse approaching. She turned, and there he was, Colton, astride a chestnut mare, the image of every cowboy tale come to life. He dismounted with ease, tipped his hat, and asked if she needed help. In that moment, Amelia laughed nervously and admitted, "I'm not like other women. I don't know a thing about trucks or horses." She expected him to chuckle at her, maybe tease her for being a city girl out of her depth. But instead, Colton's expression softened, and he said words she'd never forget, "That's why I want you." Those words sank into her like sunlight through clouds. He wasn't looking for a woman who already fit into his world. He wanted her as she was, different, unpolished, unafraid to admit what she didn't know. And in that instant, Amelia felt seen in a way she never had before. From that day forward, something changed between them. Colton began teaching her little things: how to saddle a horse, how to ride, how to mend a fence, how to spot the constellations above the ranch at night. Amelia, in return, brought him her own gifts: books he had never read, music he had never heard. Conversations that reached beyond cattle and soil into dreams, hopes, and fears. Their worlds were different, but instead of colliding, they blended. She wasn't trying to become a rancher, and he wasn't trying to become a city man. They were simply learning each other, piece by piece, soul by soul. Amelia realized that love wasn't about finding someone who mirrored you. It was about finding someone who filled the empty spaces inside you, someone who balanced your edges with their own. Colton wasn't poetic, but his actions spoke louder than words. He showed up, he listened, and he valued her uniqueness in ways no man ever had. The townsfolk noticed the change in Colton too. He had always been quiet, reserved, a man who kept his heart locked tight. But around Amelia, his laughter was freer, his shoulders lighter. He had finally found someone who made him feel alive again. One evening, under a sky painted in hues of orange and pink, they sat by the barn after a long day. Amelia leaned against him, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. She whispered, almost afraid, "Do you think I'll ever fit in here?" Colton tilted her chin, looked into her eyes, and replied, "You don't have to fit in, darling. You were made to stand out. That's why I want you." Those words became the anthem of their love. They built a relationship not on trying to be like others but on embracing what made them different. Their bond was forged in the quiet moments, sharing coffee at dawn, laughing at her failed attempts at lassoing, walking hand in hand down dirt roads as fireflies lit the night. Months passed, and Amelia's project in Texas neared its end. She faced a choice: return to the city life she had always known, or take a chance on a love that felt more real than anything she had ever experienced. The thought terrified her. She had spent her whole life being different, but what if being different also meant choosing a path few would understand? Colton never pressured her. He told her he wanted her, but he would never hold her back if she chose to leave. That night, Amelia stayed awake, staring at the stars. She realized that for once, being different didn't mean being alone. It meant finding someone who saw her for exactly who she was and cherished her for it. So she chose him. She chose the cowboy who saw her heart, not her flaws. She chose the life that was raw and real and filled with both dust and starlight. And together, they began writing a love story that was far from ordinary, because neither of them were ordinary. Their love was proof that sometimes, the greatest connections are born when two different worlds collide, not to erase each other, but to create something new, something rare, something unshakably true. If this story moved your heart, imagine what's coming next. Don't just scroll away, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs a reminder that love is about being seen, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss another story that will leave you inspired, breathless, and believing in something more. Heart.